Sigmund Freud discovered the psychoanalytical theory. He was also the first one to discuss the unconscious mind theory and its role to human behavior. Freud believed that there are three levels of consciousness. First, the unconscious mind, which exists outside of your awareness at all times. Next is the preconscious mind, which includes all information that you are not currently aware of but can be recalled. Lastly, the conscious mind is the current state of awareness. There are three parts of personality, and these are the id, ego, and superego. The id was the first one to develop, ego was the second, and the superego was the last to develop. The id is the biological component of personality and includes your instincts. It operates the conscious mind. It is like the little devil that is always selfish and needy. It operates according to the pleasure principle, which means it is the idea that all your needs should be met immediately. Then, the superego exists in all three levels of consciousness. Superego is like an angel who is always concerned with and socially acceptable. Superego pushes you to attain the ego ideal or view to what is right. It also represents your view of what is considered wrong. Finally, we had ego. Ego operates the conscious and preconscious mind. The ego is part of the personality that makes your decision. Ego makes decision and faces the consequences. It operates according to the reality principle, which means the idea that the desires at the id must be satisfied in a method that is both socially appropriate and realistic.
According to Freud, everyone has a sexual life, even the babies. But the difference is that the goal is not reproduction, but rather seeking for pleasure. Freud claimed that there are 5 stages of psychosexual development. To easily understand these stages, here is the praise for you to remember it easily. Obedience always paired with lack of genius. The first one is the oral, from birth to 1 year old. The most important part is the process of feeding because the infant is learning how to use its mouth by sucking and biting. However, there's an argument that babies do it just because of self-preservation but also for the sexual instinct. This is also the time where ego starts to develop. The second one is the anal, from 1 to 3 years old, or the potty training period. In this stage, the baby is learning how to use its anus, which becomes the main source of pleasure. That's also the period they get into conflict with the outside world. Mommy says it's not allowed to poop in the pants but you really want to. The third one is phallic, from 3 to 5 to 6 years old. In this stage, children's focus is shifted into the genitals and masturbation. In this period, they develop love for the opposite sex parent. At this phase, the boys develop what is called Oedipus complex. Basically, the boys want to marry their mom and get rid of daddy, but they can't, so they start to fear that daddy knows what they are thinking about and they will get castrated as a punishment. So in order to resolve that conflict, boys starts acting like their dads. The girls are not left out. They also have complex is called Electra complex. Basically, the girls understand that they are different from boys and that they do not have a penis, so they develop penis envy. It is resolved by changing the desire for a penis with a desire to have a baby. They also convince that they were castrated by their mothers, which of course creates a little bit of tension, which girls resolve by imitating the mother. Note that later on this life, Freud thought that it should not be talked about Electra complex. In this stage, superego is developing. The fourth one is latency, from 5 to 6 years old to puberty. After the superego has been developed, all sexual drives get repressed, and this is when the sublimation arrives to this stage. The children are interested in school, hobbies, and play generally with the same-sex friends. The psychosexual development is in a stagnation. It's like a time for enough for the libido. The fifth stage is the genital puberty to adulthood. It's time for adolescent sexual experimentation. You finally start figuring things out and find the partner of the opposite sex. The sexual drive is released through sex with your heterosexual partner.